Oh, sixth graders, it's time to work with some similar polygons and once again, some cross multiplication with some ratios. Wrong button. Okay, let's take a look here. Triangles JKL and RST are similar. Find the ratio of KL right here and ST. Well, let's take a look here. That ratio would be 30 over 15. Break that down, it's 2 to 1. That's our ratio is 2 to 1. That's pretty simple. What would angle R be? Well, if this is a 90-degree angle, then that's got to be a 90-degree angle because our triangles are similar to each other. The length of RS, well, RS is right here, okay? If this is 18, what is RS? So we have 2 to 1 is our ratio. I have 18, and I'm just going to make this, an M, not an S, okay? Let's cross multiply. M times 2 is 2M equals 2. 1 times 18 is 18. So this is 18 equals 2M. We'll have to divide this by 2. Divide this by 2. That means M equals 9. Would that make sense? That is twice as big as that. Perfect, okay? And let's keep on cruising along here. So once again, our ratio is 2 to 1, okay? Next problem. Quadrangle ABCD and MLON are similar. The length of MN is what? Well, let's take a look at what we know so far. So we have to find out this length, which would be very similar to this length. We do know the 8 and the 12, so we know it's 12 over 8. We reduce this down, we have 3 over 2. This is one thing we do know about this problem, okay? So the size change from the large trapezoid to the small trapezoid is 3 over 2. Well, if we know 3 over 2, okay, we're trying to find out what the bigger one is, we're going to put an N here for the bigger size, and we're going to put a 10 down here for the lower one, okay? Because we know the 10 is here. This is the number we know, we're trying to find that. Cross multiply 2N equals 10 times 3, which is 30. Divide by 2, divide by 2, I'm left with 15 left over. So this has to equal 15, which makes complete sense because 15 over 10 brings it down to 3 over 2, which makes this similar to each other. Next problem. Find the distance across the pond if the small triangle is similar to the large triangle. Okay, let's take a look here. So we have a small triangle right here, which is 40, and this is 30. We have to find out what D is. D is this length. We know 30 is part of the smaller triangle, okay? But what's the ratio to small triangle and big triangle? So if this is the length of the full big triangle, that equals 120. Here's our small length. So that'd be 40 over 120, okay? So our ratio would be 1 to 3, okay? That's what our ratio is that we're working with right here. So our smaller one's 1. So that means we're going to put a 30 here. We're trying to find out what N equals. Cross multiply, pretty easy. 3 times 30 is 90. That's equal to N times 1, which is N. 90 is our answer. Does that work? It sure does. Or if we're multiplying by 3, 40 times 3 is 120. 30 times 3 is 90. Let's keep cruising along here. Practice. What do we have going on here today? Round each number to the nearest thousandth. So we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths. That 7 is going to make this 6 round up to be 0.007. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. This 1 is going to leave that 9 alone. So we're going to leave this, I apologize, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So we're looking at this 9. It's going to change that 1 to a 2. So we have 4.892. Moving on over here. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. This 2 is not changing that 8, so we have 63.498. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. This is a fun one, okay? This 8 is going to change this 9. But this 9 can't go to a 10 right here, so it's going to cause this to be a 2. So 5.92 is our answer. I know it's always nice to bring a little rounding back into the mix. Another nice short video, but once again, we might have to pause it, might have to work some things out while we're doing this. The biggest thing is finding that cross multiplication when finding the variable. Good luck, and I look forward to working with you in math.